Hello, I'm Angelo H. Galang, and I am a secondary education student, and I will be your tutor for this tutorial video series for Bio 11, and I will talk about the concepts of life, cell theory, prokaryotic versus eukaryotic cell, and primary cell organelles as part of my introduction to biology. As we all know, biology is the study of life, and it is also the study of all living organisms. But what is life and what constitutes it? So, living things can grow, develop, reproduce, and adapt to environment. And along with that, there is a high degree of complexity among living organisms. There is a biological organization existing in every living thing. Kaya nating aralin yung mga living organisms as simple as it is or as complex as it is. And the basic building block of all living things are cells. So would you believe na merong 37 trillion cells sa isang adult human being? And this shows na human being is a high complex multicellular organism which is made up of cells. So prior to the invention of the microscope, everything that could not be seen by the naked eye was unexplainable. So thanks to these scientists, dahil sa kanila, we now understand the concept of cell as the basic unit of life. So paano nga ba ito nag-umpisa? So sinimulan ito ni Robert Hooke noong 1665, where he invented a simple light microscope made up of multiple glass lenses. Robert Hooke observed a cork specimen that appear as small room. So, dinescribe niya dito sa kanyang publication. So, ito actually yung drawing niya. Dinescribe niya yung cells as prison or kulungan. And Hooke was actually the one who coined the term cell. And this was followed by Anton van Leeuwenhoek in 1676, who is a Dutch scientist who created a refined microscope to observe algae, red blood cells, and sperm cells. So ito din yung illustration ni Leeuwenhoek sa kanyang publication. So these are actually sperm cells. And he coined the term animalcules, which means moving animals. So kung si Robert Hooke, sa kanya galing yung term na cell, si Leeuwenhoek naman sa kanya galing yung term na animalcules. And this was followed by Matthias Leiden in 1838. So he's actually a German botanist who hypothesized that plants grow through the production of new cells, and he eventually concluded na all plants are made up of cells. And ito's best friend niya, si Theodor Schwann, no 1839. He is also a German physician, and he stated that all animals are composed of cells just like plants. And he ended speculations that plants and animals were different in structure. So bakit importante na alamin natin yung ganoong history ng cell theory? So mahalaga na ma-realize natin na cell theory is an explanation for cell as the basic or fundamental unit of life. So ito yung alam natin na cell theory. So first, all living organisms are composed of one or more cells. A living thing can be unicellular or multicellular. And walang exemption no matter how simple or complex an organism is. Next, cell is the basic unit of life. May imagine natin yung cell as a complete machine na nagko-compose ng iba't ibang compartments having different functions. Third, all cells come from pre-existing cells dahil na-prove natin na cells cannot be spontaneously created but will always be a product of a pre-existing cell. Next, cells contain hereditary information which is passed from cell to cell during cell division. So ano tong hereditary information? So ito yung DNA na napapasa from generation to generation during cell division. Of course, cell division and cell cycle can be discussed in another lecture. But for now, we must know na DNA is passed from generation to generation. Next, all cells are basically the same in chemical composition. So ano tong mga chemical composition? This refers to the biomolecules na ginagamit ng mga cells to perform their biological functions. So ito yung mga nucleic acids such as DNA or RNA, proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. Energy flow of life occurs within cells. Bawat cell kaya niyang mag-metabolize and mag-perform ng chemical reactions para mag-break down ng molecules or to create molecules para ma-sustain yung sarili niyang life. So, ito yung 6 na components ng cell theory. So, we proceed now with this topic, which is about the types of cells. So, there are many types of cells, but every cell can be classified into 2 general types, which are prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So, for prokaryotic cells, nandito yung bacteria and archaea. For bacteria, nandito yung mga sinasabi nating true bacteria kung saan pinaka-familiar tayo. Kasi makikita natin sila everywhere on Earth. And for archaea naman, nag-inhabit sila usually sa mga extreme environments such as hot springs, ganon, sa mga salty na lakes and sa mga anaerobic conditions. And for eukaryotic cells naman, nabibilang dito yung mga cells na matatagpuan sa plants, sa animals, fungi, and protists. So yung mga protists, sila yung mga unicellular eukaryotes. And nandito yung mga algae na photosynthetic, yung mga protozoa, and slime molds. So ano yung similarities ng prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell? So both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells have DNA. So yung DNA ng prokaryotic cell is matatagpuan dito sa region na to, sa nucleoid region, while yung DNA ng eukaryotic cell is nasa nucleus, enclosed siya sa nucleus. DNA is the genetic repository of both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell that is located in chromosomes. Ayan. Next, merong cytoplasm sa both cells, and cytoplasm refers to the region inside the cell that is composed of cytosol and all the other components of the cell. So yung cytosol, yung semi-fluid substance na kung saan nakasuspend yung iba't ibang parts ng cell. Okay? Next, both cells also have ribosomes. So ribosomes are made up of 2 subunits. We have large and small subunit na nagpa-participate sa translation part ng central dogma. And dito ginagawa yung mga proteins or amino acids. And finally, both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells have cell membrane. So cell membrane is the boundary that separates the cell from the external environment. And madi-describe natin yung cell membrane or plasma membrane as a phospholipid bilayer that is selectively permeable, which means that only certain particles can move in and out of the cell easily or rapidly. So ano yung mga kayang mag-cross ng membrane easily? Ito yung mga non-polar or hydrophobic molecules. For example, carbon dioxide and oxygen. And yung mga polar naman, yung mga sugar or water, hindi sila nakakapag-pass through easily sa cell membrane. So, kailangan nila ng transport protein na matatagpuan din sa phospholipid bilayer para makapag-travel sila in and out of the cell. Next, ano yung difference nila? So, for prokaryotic cells, yung DNA nila is concentrated sa nucleoid region. And yung eukaryotic cells naman, yung DNA nila is surrounded by a nuclear membrane sa nucleus. So, membrane-bound organelles distinguish prokaryotes from eukaryotes. And sa prokaryotic cells, DNA is circular, while sa eukaryotic cells, the DNA is linear. So, yun yung tatandaan natin na yung mga organelles ng eukaryotic cell, enclosed sila with a membrane, pero sa prokaryotic cell, hindi sila naka-enclose sa membrane. And ano pa yung pinagkaiba nila? Yung sa prokaryotic cell, nagdi-divide siya usually through binary fission. Pero sa eukaryotic cell, nagdi-divide siya through mitosis and meiosis. So, ayun. So, marami pa tayong iba't ibang components ng cell na i-discuss natin sa ating next video. So, stay tuned and thank you for watching.